Good leaders retain ideals, uphold noble values. Close to 3,000 parolees now have jobs under CSI program. You're watching the evening edition of News on 2. I'm Renee Fong. Leadership is not rocket science, as Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad tells more than 1,000 student leaders today at the launch of the 10th University Scholars Leadership Symposium 2019 at Setia City Convention Centre in Shah Alam. He remarks that retaining ideals and upholding noble values will mould youths into good leaders, as without these traits, a leader would be corrupt and untrustworthy. Tun Dr. Mahathir also said leadership is a lifelong task of learning and experience. Apart from that, he said a leader must have the hunger for knowledge and be aware of the changes around him.
Secretary General This is especially true when facing with technological advancements and the disruptions they cause. If a leader is oblivious to these changes, they will not be able to impress upon the nation on the need to keep abreast, and in effect, the nation will lag behind and eventually become backward.
Tun Dr. Mahathir said a leader should lead not just by mere words, but more effectively through example. He also said that besides being intelligent, a good leader would need to know and have the ability to differentiate between right and wrong, good and evil. Some 1,000 student leaders from around the world gathered for the week-long symposium that revolves around the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. The symposium was designed for young persons around the world who were committed to making a world a much better place for all mankind. The Home Ministry is looking to further enhance the Prison Department's existing Corporate Smart Internship CSI program to better improve parolees' reintegration into society and tackle prison overcrowding as part of the government's ongoing prison reforms. Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin said community rehabilitation like the CSI will not only reduce prison management expenditures and overcrowding issues, but more importantly, also involve the community at large in the rehabilitation process of prisoners. 2,928 parolees have been given job opportunities at over 80 private companies since the CSI program began in 2016.
Kita buat ini untuk menyedarkan kepada lebih ramai sektor korporat untuk tampil mengambil bahagian. Saya kira kalau meningkat dan bertambah itu lagi baik bagi mereka. Sebab mereka semua memerlukan tenaga kerja dan mereka yang akan terlibat dalam program ini, bantuan ini pun dilatih. Bermakna bukan mereka ni macam pekerja murah saja, cheap labour. Tapi kalau dilatih ada faedah untuk syarikat.
To date, 7 government companies and agencies which have taken in parolees as employees, such as Siam Darby, Panasonic, Velcro, Hapchong Furniture, SKS Coach Builders, Lippo Metals Sdn Bhd and Yayasan Pahang. Tan Sri Muhyiddin said this after officiating the Corporate Smart Internship CSI program launch at the Prison Department. Also present at the launch was Deputy Prison Director, Safety and Correctional Dato Al-Zafri Muhammad Al-Nasif Muhammad Adahan. 2 directors of an investment company today claimed trial in the Kuala Lumpur Sessions Court for 3 counts of an unspecified amount of money laundering. Datuk Sri Lai Chai Shuang, 49, and Chai Ling Moy, 48, of Monspace, Malaysia Sdn Bhd, are accused of using 3 different accounts of the company to launder money. Dato Sri Lai and Chai are alleged to have jointly committed the offences at Public Bank Berhad, Malayan Banking Berhad and RHB Bank Berhad branches in the city between 6 June 2016 and 24th July last year. They were charged under Section 4, Subsection 1, Subsection A of the Anti-Money Laundering and Anti-Terrorism Financing Act 2001, which carries a punishment of a maximum 15 years jail and or maximum 5 million ringgit fine upon conviction. Pahang. Judge Zamri Bakar set bail at 100,000 ringgit each, which the accused posted and fixed for the case to be mentioned on 6 September. In May, Datuk Sri Lai Chai and Wong Tat Fong, who are also directors of Moon Space Mall Sdn Bhd, were charged with conducting a direct sales business without a license. After 12 days of trial with 23 witnesses called to testify, the prosecution today rested its case against former Federal Territories Minister Datuk Sri Tengku Adnan Tengku Mansor, who allegedly received 2 million ringgit in bribes from businessman Tan Sri Chai Kin Kong. Deputy Public Prosecutor Julia Ibrahim said this after Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission MACC Chief Muhammad Saad Bordani, 37, finished his testimony at the High Court today. Julia said the prosecution also offered several witnesses from Kuala Lumpur City Hall DBKL and MACC to the defence if the accused was called to enter his defence. Judge Muhammad Zaini Mazlan set forth on 11th October for oral submissions. In addition, Judge Muhammad Zaini said the court also fixed on or before 3rd September for both parties to file written submissions, while the counter submissions should be filed on or before 18 September. Tengku Adnan was charged in his capacity as a public servant, namely Federal Territories Minister, to have accepted for himself 2 million ringgit from Chai via a Hong Leong Islamic Bank cheque belonging to Asset Kaya Mas Sdn Bhd, which was deposited into the CIMB bank account of Tat Mansori Holdings Sdn Bhd, in which he had an interest when it was known that Asset Kaya Mas had connection with his official duties. Pahang police successfully arrested 2 men suspected to have masterminded drug traffickers in Raub, Pahang. Raub District Police Chief Superintendent Muhammad Kama Azura said 2 men were arrested at an oil palm plantation along with 11 plastic sachets believed to contain heroin. Also seized were 6 transparent sachets containing powdered and crystal substance suspected to be shabu. Both suspects, aged in their 40s, have now been remanded for 7 days under Section 39, subsection B of the Dangerous Drugs Act, ADB 1952, and Section 12, subsection 2, ADB 1952.
Apabila dibuka telah jumpa satu paket Brusina di mana setiap satunya berisi serbuk dan kepulan keputihan desaki dadah heroin dan 6 paket plastik Brusina di mana setiap satu berisi serbuk dan kepulan kristal desaki dadah jenis sabu. Berat heroin 71,89 gram dan sabu seberat 2,8 gram.
Superintendent Muhammad Kama said this during a press conference at Raub District Police Headquarters in Pahang. Both suspects were also found to have a past criminal record. The Department of Veterinary Services has denied allegations that they were not transparent in approving permissions to import chicken cuttings. Its Director General, Dato' Dr. Kwaza Nizamuddin Hassan Nizam, said the department will need to comply with the conditions set by the ministry in order to import the chicken cuttings. Dr. Kwarza added that the department only approved to import chicken cutting for processing purposes such as for nuggets, sausages, burgers and patties. Thus, approval will be given if there are those who have applied to be supplied with chicken cuttings for resale purpose or without adhering to the conditions set.
Jadi, tapi industri sebab dia satu industri besar yang boleh ekspor, maka kita benarkan untuk tujuan ekspor dan juga untuk pasaran domestik juga sebab kita makan nugget, sausage semua adalah daripada industri tempatan. Jadi dalam keadaan itulah ada pihak-pihak mungkin rasa mereka perlu diberi kelulusan untuk import dan sebagainya.
Dr. Kwarza said this in a press conference held in Putrajaya today. The search and rescue operations to locate 3 resort employees who were reported missing in the waters off Pulau Tenggol near Dungun, Terengganu on Wednesday afternoon resumed today despite the hazy weather condition. Kemaman Maritime Zone Director Lieutenant Commander Rashidil Hadi Abdul Rashid said search mission today focused on small islands including Pulau Tenggol, Pulau Nyireh, Pulau Tokong Burung dan Pulau Tokong Daik.
Melanda negara mulai 31 Julai hingga sekarang, iaitu apabila angin arah barat daya membawa bersama asap dari kesan pembakaran terbuka di Pulau Sumatera dan Riau, Indonesia, sedikit sebanyak menghadkan jarak penglihatan dan khususnya usaha cari lamat yang menggunakan pesawat udara sedikit terjejas.
In the incident on Wednesday, 3 employees of a resort in Pulau Tenggol, Fauzi Muhammad 40, Muhammad Firdaus Muhammad Awaluddin 25 and Muhammad Hafiz Abdul Rahim 22 were reported missing while travelling on board of a boat from the jetty at Seberang Pintasan heading to Pulau Tenggol. 14 illegal immigrants from Indonesia were detained by the Malaysian Maritime Enforcement Agency MMEA for attempting to sneak out of the country. The immigrants aged between 20 and 50 were believed to have been working illegally in Pahang and Selangor. Batu Pahat Maritime Zone Director Maritime Commander Muhammad Othman said the immigrants were arrested after the boat they were in suffered a breakdown about 5 nautical miles west of Pulau Pisang near Pontian.
Awal kita mendapati mereka ni semua daripada Malaysia yang telah tamat visanya. Jadi mereka takut untuk balik menggunakan pintu yang sah. Jadi mereka ditipulah oleh tekong darat sini. Membayar sejumlah wang hampir 1,000 ke 1,850 satu kepala, dijanjikan menaiki feri lah dengan selamat untuk pulang ke Dumai.
All of them are being remanded for 14 days, while local who was manning the boat is being remanded for 7 days pending investigations. Case is investigated under the Immigration Act 1959-63 and the Anti-Trafficking in Persons and Smuggling of Migrants ATIPSOM Act 2007. Deputy Minister of Women, Family and Community Development Hannah Yeoh said about 64% of the 945 cases of abandoned babies were found dead from 2010 until last year after they were left in places like public toilets and garbage areas. She urged female teenagers, especially those who became pregnant out of wedlock, not to abandon their babies, but to hand them over to the authorities or the social welfare department so that the babies could be saved and adopted. To date, she said about 1,000 married couples were in the waiting list to adopt children from the social welfare department.
Apa yang kita nak fokus sekarang, utamakan nyawa bayi itu dulu. Okey, itu sebab kempen yang kita gerakkan sekarang. Kita sudah partner dengan Plus Highway, utara hingga selatan, 22 tandas awam R&R. Kita letak setiap kubikel tandas itu, kita dalam proses untuk habiskanlah. So, kita tampal poster itu. Poster kita kata, jika anda belum bersedia, hubungi talian kasih 15999 dan kita akan salurkan bantuan.
Sekolah Harapan was opened in 2011 for pregnant young unmarried women, and there are currently 10 residents aged between 16 and 27 years staying there. Yeoh said 65 cases of abandoned babies were recorded between January and May this year, and the 3 states which had the highest number of cases were Johor 13 cases, Selangor 11 and Kedah 5. She said girls who became pregnant out of wedlock should not be cast out, but should instead be helped so that their lives can improve after delivering their babies. She said according to Health Ministry records, the number of babies born out of wedlock in the country for youths aged between 10 and 19 years dropped from 18,000 cases in 2011 to 10,501 last year. Selangor Menteri Besar Amiruddin Syari refuted claims that his meeting with several Selangor PKR assemblymen yesterday had a political agenda. He said the meeting, which was also attended by PKR Vice President, Housing and Local Government Minister Zuraida Kamaruddin, aimed to discuss the national community policy for the state of Selangor.
Kawasan-kawasan itu yang terlatih. Saya kebetulan dalam fasa pertama tadi. Itu mungkin tak ada isu berapa parti pun. Tak ada bincang setahu saya, ia adalah second ganti dan saya pun lambat ataupun saya datang kejap dan saya keluar. Masa dia bersama.
Yesterday, Amiruddin, who is also the Selangor PKR leadership chairman, had a meeting with state PKR assemblymen at his official residence. Coming up next, Pulau Pinang, now top contributor to national GDP. Welcome back. Economic Affairs Minister Datuk Sri Azmin Ali said the light rail transit LRT is the way forward for Pulau Pinang and was one of the items on the agenda when discussing the framework of the 12th Malaysia Plan with the state government today. At a press conference in Georgetown, Datuk Sri Azmin said the LRT, part of the Pulau Pinang Transport Master Plan, will reduce private vehicles on the road. Pulau Pinang has now emerged as the top contributor to the country's GDP, leapfrogging past Selangor, according to Datuk Sri Azmin. He said this means that Pulau Pinang's contribution to the national economy, particularly in the manufacturing sector, cannot be overlooked.
And we would encourage the people of Penang to move from private vehicles to public transportation, dan Kerajaan Negeri Pulau Pinang telah mengambil inisiatif untuk kemukakan satu master plan tentang transport di Negeri Pulau Pinang, dan perkara ini kita akan teliti. Secara dasar kita mendukung sebarang usaha untuk mengurangkan penggunaan private vehicles.
He added that Pulau Pinang's relationship to the federal government has to be seen in a strategic context due to its importance. He said this after attending a closed-door briefing with Pulau Pinang Chief Minister Chow Kun Yeow on the proposed 12 Malaysia Plan. Datuk Sri Azmin said that his ministry has learnt from the mistakes of the previous administration, who drew plans up by only consulting with the federal ministries. Earlier, Chow said that Pulau Pinang will realign its development plans to meet the national aspirations under the 12th Plan, including with the Penang Vision 2030 development. Felcra Berhad has declared a dividend payout of 27.59 million ringgit to 46,922 of its participants nationwide. Economic Affairs Minister Datuk Sri Muhammad Azmin Ali said Felcra has allocated 70% of its plantation income from January to April 2019 to be distributed to the participants for the interim of first 2019 income payout. In a statement today, Datuk Sri Muhammad Azmin said the remaining 30% will be distributed with the final profit distribution payout on April 2020. He said Felcra will ensure that the payout is done according to schedule. Moreover, he said Felcra manages 220,086 hectares for 112,454 participants, comprising 1,774 projects nationwide. Furthermore, he said the profit to be distributed is derived from the net profits of estates of participants, which are managed and developed by Felcra, involving 509 projects. Datuk Sri Muhammad Azmin also said Felcra's management has been responsible in ensuring productivity in the estates is always at an optimum level. He said this effort is to offset incomes affected by the decline in commodity prices in global markets. Podium program, while 20 normal athletes and 2 para-athletes were dropped from the program. Minister Syed Saddiq Syed Abdul Rahman said the matter was decided during today's podium program evaluation committee meeting. According to Syed Saddiq, the new athletes were the ones whom had not received any form of assistance from the National Sports Council MSN, including allowance. They were chosen based on merit and achievements in their respective fields.
Ya, contoh yang dinaikkan Izzat Syamil bin Zulkifli yang sebelum ini allowance masa 2,000 dinaikkan kepada 3,500. Nurul Aliani yang sebelum ni 2,000 dinaikkan 3,500. Yang lebih jelas seperti Muhammad Eri Hidayat angkat berat yang sebelum ni RM800 terus dinaikkan kepada RM3,500.
Apart from the new athletes, over 600 athletes currently attached to the program are maintained, inclusive of 475 normal athletes and 145 para-athletes. The meeting also concluded that 16 athletes, including 3 para-athletes, will have a reduction in their allowance due to poor performance in their respective fields, while 3 normal athletes and 3 para-athletes were being assessed. Syed Saddiq also announced that the podium program will be evaluated every 6 months. The Malaysian national hockey team tasted sweet revenge, beating Spain 4-3 in their home turf in the Four-Nation Invitational Tournament in Barcelona on Thursday. The Malaysian Tigers earlier suffered a narrow defeat to the 9th world ranking team when they lost 0-1 in their second European Tour Test match on Tuesday. In the match held at Terrassa, Spain, the national squad was quickly relegated when the home team had a quick succession of back-to-back goals courtesy of Xavi Leonard and Albert Beltran in the 10th and 24th minutes, respectively. Malaysia, however, recovered a minute later when Tengku Ahmad Tajuddin Tengku Abdul Jalil secured a goal through a penalty corner at the end of the second quarter. Spain then quickly moved away to a 3-1 lead when Alvaro Iglesias in the 36th minute in the third quarter scored via a field goal. Another penalty corner proved to be fruitful when centre forward Nick Muhammad Aiman Nick Rozemi reduced the gap to 3-2 in the 49th minute in the fourth and final quarter before striker Muhammad Akimullah Anwar Esuk secured the equaliser in the 60th minute via a field goal. The final nail in the coffin was hit when defender Muhammad Razi Abdul Rahim scored the winning goal through a penalty corner during extra time with a 4-3 win. And that concludes this evening's News on 2. In our top story, good leaders retain ideals, uphold noble values. A short note, if you're keen in joining us as English news editors, send in your CV to newson2@gmail.com. I'm Renee Fong. Thanks for watching and have a pleasant evening.